Woman accidentally discovered a car accident, but her first thought wasn't to save people, but rather to use her exceptional sewing skills to create a perfect crime, making the two injured people completely die, then take their money. So she quickly stopped the car and took out her portable sewing box. Then she inserted a wooden stick at each end of the box, then fixed a bundle of yellow thread to one of the wooden sticks, then pulled out the yellow thread around the rearview mirror and continued extending it all the way outside the car window. Next, using the same method, she used a sewing needle to guide red thread and extended it outside the car window. Next, Lisa was going to use these two inconspicuous needles and threads to make the two men on the ground kill each other. Lisa slowly walked to the blonde man's front and threaded one of the needles and threads through his handcuff chain, then walked behind him and fixed both needles and threads to the man's shoes. At this time, the helmet man behind seemed to sense danger, but unfortunately he was seriously injured and had no power to resist. Lisa used all her strength to drag the helmet man to face the blonde man, then went to retrieve the needles and threads, threaded the other red thread through the helmet man's sleeve cuff, then pulled both threads and walked forward. She prepared to wrap the ends of the two threads around both men's guns respectively. After everything was ready, Lisa returned to the car and pressed the gas pedal to the floor. For a moment, the spools of the two thread reels began spinning frantically. After just under 10 seconds, both bundles of thread had been completely unwound, but Lisa was still accelerating frantically. At this time, both guns were also pulled by the threads and moved forward rapidly. The two guns reached both men's hands almost simultaneously. Then the two men shot each other and killed each other. Finally, Lisa backed up and came back to take away the safe full of cash. It turned out that when Lisa first arrived at the accident scene, she saw white powder all over ground and a safe. She also observed that the two men had traces of fighting, so she determined they were in an adversarial relationship and would definitely kill each other the moment they got their guns. But she hadn't been happy for long when Lisa couldn't smile anymore. She quickly stopped the car and hurriedly collected back those two needles and threads covered with her fingerprints. But in the end, she only recovered the yellow needles and thread, while for the red one, she only recovered the thread. The needle had disappeared. Lisa was completely panicked. She quickly drove back to the scene. After some searching, she finally discovered that needle stuck in the helmet man's palm.